Let me ask you a question, Cuffy. At any time during the initial stages of your indictment involving this whole Tammy Commons thing, did you talk to Big Meech or did you send a message to Big Meech in any way to tell him or to alert him of what was going on?
We sent Big Meech certified mail. Big Meech set me up and Tammy set me up with this thing in 2013.
Big Meech just got exposed. And the evidence? It's explosive. When 50 Cent dropped that paperwork, the internet didn't flinch. It erupted. But here's the real question. Where did 50 even get this proof? Turns out some old BMF insiders have resurfaced. And they're talking like men with something to prove. And what they're saying? It's shaking the whole game. Now whispers are turning into full-blown rumors. About Meech, about betrayal. But here's the twist. Meech isn't sitting back.
Well, did Blue Da Vinci cooperate or no?
Yeah, he cooperated. I mean, I didn't see it. It was in Miss Mara Salute's book, where his own lawyer said, yeah, if there was anything else that we could do, Your Honor, to help you along with this case.
Big Meech is about to give 50 Cent a front row lesson in what happens when you disrespect a true kingpin. And trust, this isn't some petty back and forth. This is legend status hanging in the balance. What makes it even messier? 50's got a reputation for dropping serious cash to expose people. And once he bites, he doesn't back down. But this time, he might have picked the wrong target. Meech isn't some random street hustler. He's Demetrius Big Meech Flannery, the mastermind behind the Black Mafia family. His name, it doesn't just ring, it echoes from coast to coast. Let me break it down real quick.
One night, and then my homeboy that was with me, he was like, Tone Bird, he from BMF too. Tone was like, ask Big Homie what's up with the movie with 50, like what's going on with him from New York. I had to use my New York accent. Yo, what's going on with the 50 Cent movie? So I'm like, oh yo, Meech, what's up with the movie, with the TV show?
Meech and his brother Terry, they weren't just hustling, they were building an empire in plain sight. It started with $50 bags. But what they created would soon stretch across states and coasts, from Michigan to Georgia, Florida to Cali, even deeper than anyone realized. By the early 2000s, they had turned the streets into a nationwide machine. So much money. Even the feds had to sit up and pay attention. But Meech and Terry were ready. They crafted the perfect disguise. BMF, entertainment to outsiders. Just another music and promo company. But behind the scenes, it was a money washing.
It's believed that Terry White grew up in an Atlanta housing project. But when FBI and GBI agents arrested him last night, he was living here, a sprawling $200,000 mansion in Jonesboro.
Had a media room where there were 24 TV sets on one wall hooked to a satellite dish. And you could hit a button and all 24 TVs.
Now, here's the twist they never saw coming. BMF Entertainment wasn't just smoke and mirrors. They actually had one artist on the roster, Blue Da Vinci. In 2005, he dropped an entire album called The World Is BMF's. But by October 2003, the feds had already made their move, snatching Meech off the streets and trading his luxury for a jumpsuit. And the blame? It came fast. People pointed fingers at Blue, said he looked soft.
My client would be more than willing to cooperate with you all to help you in this investigation. But now the thing of it is by you admitting what was done, you know what I'm saying, what you done or whatever, but bottom line is, you didn't take the single plea. You went in
and here's the part that raised every eyebrow. Blue Da Vinci didn't get picked up when the feds came crashing down in 2003. They snatched Meech, slapped the cuffs on him, dragged him straight in. But Blue, somehow, he wasn't even touched. That alone had people whispering. But by 2004, things got downright messy. Because that's when BMF's own logistics boss, Dexter Souza Hussey, started throwing serious shade at Blue.
Just gotta wait to holler at Tammy before, you know what I'm saying, I know where we at with that. And Tammy is a government informant. So when he said that, I was like, Tammy, what you mean, Tammy? Like, nigga, you ain't heard what's going on with her?
Sousa wasn't just talking in the streets. He was putting it all on record in open court. Blue Da Vinci showed up with his lawyer. And then, out of nowhere, the lawyer hit the judge with this. Your Honor, I did forget to mention something earlier. And just like that, it came out. Blue, real name McKnight, was one of the ones who tried to cooperate. The government debriefed him. But here's the kicker. He didn't know anything useful about the other defendants.
Was giving them information on that they already had and thought it was cool, but you know, that was part of that. You just confirmed other shit that the other CIs just done told.
And here's the bombshell. The lawyer admitted Blue's debriefing wasn't even fresh tea. It happened months before that court appearance. But then, just to add fuel to the fire, the lawyer dropped another bomb. Blue did a safety valve session just that week. So what does that even mean? It means Blue was ready to talk, but the problem? He had nothing valuable to offer. So yeah, Blue tried to snitch. But the feds didn't even want his crumbs. And that's when the real question surfaced. If Blue didn't have the goods, who did? And this is where it gets wild. After his name was dragged through the dirt as the snitch, Blue came out swinging. In 2023, during an interview with Capone News, he flipped the script and exposed the real snitch. That's when Tammy Cowan's name hit the spotlight. So, who is Tammy Cowan? She's been Meech's business partner since 2008. And when Meech went down, Tammy stayed loyal, running errands and keeping in touch with him while he was behind bars. In fact, Meech trusted her so much, he handed her control over his life. Rights. That's right. She had the golden ticket. She could turn his life story into a money printing machine, and that's exactly what she did. But here's the twist. Why would Meech trust her so completely? And then, Tammy Cowan made the ultimate move. She joined forces with 50 Cent to co-produce the hit show BMF. But here's where things went sideways. According to leaked paperwork, Blue revealed something shocking. Tammy wasn't just securing TV deals, she was allegedly playing both sides, feeding info straight to the feds. In those same documents, Tammy was listed as CS1, a confidential source for the DEA. Back in 2009, she teamed up with the Atlanta division. And guess what? She dropped a bombshell that helped crack open a money laundering case. It led to the conviction of a heavy hitter, Terry White. This wasn't some small-time hustle. Terry White was deep in the game, and thanks to Tammy, they got him locked up. But here's where it gets even wilder. Tammy wasn't even getting paid for her tips at first. That's right, she was freeballing. But after her intel helped the DEA bag Terry White, they realized she was too useful to ignore. Her handler, a DEA agent named Harsh, decided to put her in for a reward, a cut of the assets from White's operation. And this wasn't chump change. We're talking cars, cash, cribs, and more. But the crazy part? Tammy didn't even get into the informant life because she was desperate. She had no criminal record, no substance abuse issues. She wasn't looking for a lighter sentence or to dodge charges. The feds themselves said she was one of the weirdest informants they'd ever dealt with. So why'd she do it? Straight revenge. Word is, Terry White used Tammy to clean his dirty money, without her even knowing. Once she found out, she flipped the script. This was personal. But here's the real question. Why did Tammy keep spilling secrets after? The feds already locked up Terry White? Everything starts connecting now. But hold up. We're just getting started. While the world thought Big Meech was down for the count, he was secretly cooking up a plan from behind bars. And this one? It was bold. In the pen, Meech crossed paths with a cartel kingpin named Fidel Suarez. This wasn't some small-time hustler. Suarez was running a whole trucking empire in California. But what made Suarez dangerous wasn't just his business, it was his history with the feds. He'd been arrested twice, once in 2005, again in 2009. Both times for substance trafficking. But the feds couldn't make the charges stick. Yet. Now, Big Meech saw an opportunity. Even from behind bars, he was determined to keep the money flowing. He had a wild plan. He could move weight through Suarez's pipeline. The catch? Meech was locked up tight, so he needed someone outside to make it happen. Enter Tammy Cowan, the woman who would become the key to it all. In September 2011, Meech reached out to Tammy, identified as CS1, asking for help with a major delivery, one that would be handled by Suarez. By then, Tammy and Suarez were already talking. That first call, just a check-in, but it sparked something much bigger. Tammy was now the middleman, connecting Suarez with Dion Cuffy Gatling, another heavy hitter. Cuffy was no small player. He ran the Gatling trafficking organization in St. Louis. Together, the trio was lining up a huge operation to move weight across state lines. But what they didn't know, Tammy was playing both sides. She was secretly feeding everything back to the feds, the entire operation. In 2014, Cuffy was arrested and slapped with 27 years. But here's the kicker. Meech never caught a charge. How did he dodge an indictment? And that's not all. When Naphim pressed in court, Tammy lied to protect Meech. She denied it all. But what did she really know? Was Meech the mastermind, or was she hiding something even darker? This could end everything. But the truth still hasn't come out. What if everything you thought you knew about loyalty and betrayal was wrong? Tammy Cowan, once a trusted ally, was secretly playing a dangerous game. It all started when she denied being involved in cocaine deliveries between Suarez and Gatling. But here's the twist. She wasn't just in the middle of the action, she was feeding the feds everything they needed. She lied, she covered her tracks, and for a while, it worked. But the feds caught on. They couldn't trust her anymore, but it gets darker. Turns out, Tammy wasn't just betraying her partners, she was sleeping with one of the DEA agents involved in the investigation. A fling that ended up compromising the entire case. Tammy was playing a dangerous game, moving in and out of the shadows like a chess master. But when everything started crashing down, she panicked. And rightly so. By March 2015, the walls were closing in. Tammy stumbled upon a suppression motion filed by Gatling's legal team. This wasn't just some paperwork. It was the bomb that could expose her as the confidential source. The moment she realized her name could be on the line, panic took over. And why wouldn't it? Gatling wasn't just any dealer. He had blood on his hands. In 2010, he ordered a hit on Theus Howard, a man who dared to snitch. In 2013, he did. The same to Terrence Morgan, a man ready to spill the truth to the feds. If Gatling found out Tammy was the one feeding the feds, it would be game over. Terrified, she ran to the feds for protection, and they ignored her, so with nowhere else to turn, she made a desperate move. She went to see Big Meech, the man she had been loyal to. But his response? Cold. Meech wasn't ready to take the fall. He didn't want his name tangled in her mess. No help, no loyalty. Tammy's trust in him shattered. She had nothing left except one final, desperate play. What happens when loyalty gets twisted and betrayal runs deep? Tammy Cowan was playing a dangerous game, and she was about to lose everything. In a desperate move to cover her tracks, she went into full cleanup mode, trying to erase Meech's name from the case completely. She dragged the DEA agent she'd been sleeping with into the mess, accusing him of jealousy. But Tammy wasn't done. She threatened to expose everything. She promised to release an unsworn affidavit to every single person involved in the case. From the lawyers to the judge. In that affidavit, she went off. She accused Agent Chroma, her lover, of framing Meech to get back at her for their bond. The audacity. But despite all her desperate moves, nothing saved her. Once Cuffy was locked up, it didn't take long for him to figure out who betrayed him. And when he did, it was game over. He filed for a Franks hearing, demanding to put his accusers on the stand. That meant Tammy had to face him directly. The truth was coming out, and there was no escaping it. Fast forward to 2014. Blue Da Vinci sat down for another interview, but this time he had backup. Cuffy was calling in from prison, ready to spill everything, and he didn't hold back. Meech had dodged charges because he played the system like a pro, using third-party cooperation to protect himself, even if it meant throwing people under the bus. And as for 50 Cent, the moment he spoke, the streets tuned in. He's threatening to drop a tell-all, exposing Meech's shady moves and proving once and for all that he worked with the feds. So here's the burning question. Is Meech guilty of everything they say? Or is this just another power move by 50 Cent?